think I accidentally discovered one of the highest stagger builds in the game. What's up, Exiles? My name's Corey, and today I'm really proud and excited to bring you my own home-cooked final version of my Shield Warbringer build, aka the Jade Breaker. This build will have you staggering bosses with ease, interrupting them, one-shotting rares and T14-15s. You heard that right, one-shotting them with modifiers, no problem. And we'll also have you feeling incredibly thick and tanky thanks to our insanely high life and capped-out physical damage reduction that pairs incredibly well with Encase and Jade out of the Warbringer tree. And we are using scavenge plating that is always maxed out thanks to our resonating shield. Let me show you what support gems I'm using and what changes I made to the passive tree that are making this build make high-end mapping and high-end bosses feel like a walk in the park. All right, as always, timestamps and links in the description so you can jump ahead to whatever you're most interested in. Now, first things first, this is the evolved version of my Jade Charger video. That's the beginning version of this build and will get you through the campaign and into mapping with nothing more than a shield with high armor. This is the final version of this build that I've created to push the highest content in the game, like tier 14, T15 maps with modifiers, as well as the pinnacle bosses and the Arbiter. Now, let me go ahead and show you what changes I've made to the build that make this hit so hard and work so incredibly well. First off, right off the bat, what's really important to note is we are no longer rocking any of the fire nodes. We have dropped all of our fire nodes, and instead, we are now investing these points into Infernal Warcry so that our shield charge is an empowered attack that will hit even harder. This will all make sense. I've also gone ahead and put points into bleed, and this helps out a lot with the single target damage on shield charge. Killing monsters and clearing the screen is not a problem at all, so I wanted to lean a little bit more into single target damage just because AoE has not been a problem at all. Let me go ahead and show you the support gems that really bring this build together. Some things that you'll note are that we are no longer rocking Magma Barrier. So to replace this, I've gone ahead and chosen Overwhelming Presence. This is a no-brainer because it reduces the enemy's stun threshold, making it even easier to stagger them. And I just have some good support gems in here like Herbalism and things that give us more life, vitality, etc. Something really important I'd like to share, I was incredibly lucky and found a perfect Jeweler's Orb. I know I should probably hit the blackjack table after this, and I thought about selling it, but I didn't. I slammed it into shield charge for science, and man did it pay off. These are the current support gems I'm using. Lacerate, again, helps out a lot with the single target damage, and I'm aggravating my bleeding with Resonating Shield, and I also have leaned into those bleed nodes on the passive tree that increase my bleed damage. I have Heft, so it's going to hit even harder. Ingenuity is a no-brainer. It's our main skill, and we want it to come up as fast as possible. This will also help you get through the maps more quickly. Overpower is going to make it so it staggers even easier, and then Close Combat makes it hit a little bit harder. Now, Bone Shatter is a no-brainer still. I rock this. You can put whatever support gems you'd like. It just makes the build feel a lot more smooth because you're constantly priming them for Bone Shatters, and it just makes it a smooth combo as you're running through the map, dicing and slicing. I'm also going all in on Shield Wall now because it is another skill that is based off the armor on our shield, and this is a no-brainer to have on your bar. It's also a really great defensive option. If you ever catch yourself in a sticky situation, you can drop down your Shield Wall, and it has a certain amount of HP. When that HP is down, the wall will explode in enemies. You can also manually explode the wall by popping Infernal Warcry. A really great combo is to throw the shield wall down, pop your Infernal Warcry that explodes the wall into enemies, and then your shield charge is empowered. You slam that into everyone. The whole screen will be completely evaporated, I guarantee it. We also have capped out physical damage reduction thanks to this build, and this is thanks to Scavenge Plating. Scavenge Plating is always going to be maxed out thanks to our Resonating Shield. When you pop Resonating Shield, we have Demolisher on there, and we're pairing that with Cruel Methods so that armor falls off incredibly easy, making it so that your Scavenge Plating is always maxed out. This will have it so that your physical damage reduction is capped out at 90%, and then you can also pop your Encase and Jade on top of it that also has an extremely high shield thanks to all of our high life pieces. So you have a high shield on you with maxed out damage reduction, and you are just extremely thick and tanky. Let me show you a look at what are most of the key passives in this, and if you're interested in the entire tree, I'll go over the entire passive tree at the end of the video if you're interested in that. Again, we've ascended as a Warbringer, so we are using the Jade Heritage to get that Jade armor, and a really important one that I would consider getting your first ascendancy is Anvil's Weight, which makes it incredibly easy to break armor. Now, as we go down the tree here, like I said, we are no longer using fire nodes. We're going heavy into armor, everything with shield, melee damage, heavy into stun, defense, etc. A big one when you get later into the tree here, Flip the Script is awesome because you get such massive life leech from this. Titanic gives us incredible stun buildup, and as I said earlier, we're going into these Warcry abilities that make it so our shield charge hits much harder as it's an empowered attack. So, Internal Bleeding, Vigilance, Desperate Times, as you can see here, more help with life. This is an incredibly important one that you want to get very early on, Cruel Methods. I talk about this in the last video. This pairs really, really, really well with Anvil's weight and Resonating Shield to make it so the armor just falls right off them. And again, I'm going into the bleed nodes here so that I get increased single target damage. Those are a lot of the big ones, guys. And again, if you want to see the entire tree, just go ahead and jump to the end of the video. Overall, a lot of stun nodes, life, stun, everything that just makes sense for this build and synergizes really well with it. I will leave the entire build in the description. I'm just so happy with how well it's performing. Nothing has stopped me yet. I feel completely indestructible. I'm almost level 87. I even got my 3rd ascendancy with total ease. I'll probably go for my 4th ascendancy here, and I'll just grab Warcaller's Bellow, which is just going to make it easier to kill more AoE and more... It's not really going to do anything for bossing, but it'll make mapping and mobbing much easier. So that's where I plan to go with this. I absolutely am going to push the pinnacle bosses and try and kill the Arbiter on this build, and if I'm successful, I will do one last update for you. Now, talking armor here, we're really leaning into a lot of life and armor, so every one of our pieces has life and armor. Some don't ideally have as much as I would like, but most importantly, Shield Charge uses the armor on your shield for damage, so we are using armor, so we're going to go fully in on armor. I've gone for as much armor as I can and as much life as I can. A really important note on my rings here, and that I think really help this build as you push the really high end game, are life and mana leech. I have them both on my rings here, and it really helps out a lot, as well as even some extra mana leech on my gloves. So every time I shield charge, I have full mana, and I don't have to worry about it at all. But ideally, really, you just need a really high armor shield, and I'm getting all pieces with life so that it synergizes with my Encase and Jade. And then really, your weapon, all you really need is the increased melee skills so that your shield charge just goes to an even higher level and your offhand is completely irrelevant. I'm absolutely going to push the Arbiter with this build, and I will give you one last update when I have gone ahead and completely finished the pinnacles and all of that. Thanks so much for your time, guys. This build is so much fun. It's rather cheap to make, incredibly high defense, incredibly high damage. I'm just so floored with it. It's my own home-cooked build. If there's something that I can improve on, if you have any tips for me, or if you learned something, please let me know in the comments. I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much, you guys. I'll see you in the next one. And I want to address some of these negative comments on my last video. Here's Fane7068. It's cool to show damage on a boss when it has 1% health left. Well, here you go. This clip is just for you, Fane7068. P14 boss, the entire thing, start to finish. Just for you. It's not S tier, it's trash. It's not S tier, it's trash.